Oh boy. Are we going to do a triple? A triple Azurite and depth 268. Okay, we'll give it a shot. um, I'm a little less squishy than before, but not greatly less squishy. All right, let's give it a shot and have some fun. And we'll start taking off. And I'm just going to put my map on. And I'll ignore that thing over the side. I'm leveling up gems. Oh, this is bad already. Don't want to get exploded with the red stuff. And we'll light this area up. We'll take a look at the loot. There's a bunch of chromatics. I'll just leave them there. I don't want to pick them up. And let's go peek in this little side over here. Ooh. Oop, I threw it down in the wrong spot. Oh, and it still got it. Hidden armor, hidden wealth. I'll take it. Oh, not that good of a hidden armor, hidden wealth. But then we're going to go over here. And I'm just having fun with this build. Not that difficult. Oop. Oh, I'm going to have to... I see... I just did that frost blink. I'm going to have to tie that to something else because it's getting used with something else. So I'm going to have to work on that. So I'm glad I got this demo here. So frost blink is not the answer yet. I'm going to figure out something else. Maybe I'll just put leap slam back there and re-roll it. So a little bit of an adjustment, and that'll be in the next update. Because see how it's getting used? It's tying in with this other blink skill. And get it, you know, it doesn't let you use it along with probably phase runner. Withering step is some kind of skill that's getting triggered off it, and see how I can't blink away. But that's okay. And yep, I noticed that. But are the other things working? There's our power charges up on the top left. 3 of them, good. What about we have to find a rare? I just saw some frenzy charges appear, so that's working. So I'm just going to work on the leap slam / frostlink. Dash didn't work. I don't know what'll work. I've been trying a few different things. Leap slam would work, but I just don't need it down here. But I do need to move around in what do you call it, maps when I go up top. So, you know, I need a little teleportation / jump or something. Oh, this guy, he's mean. And I have Val Haste as well. That had 20 charges or 50 charges or whatever, so I popped that on him. And he's going to do it one more time. Oh! That thing hits hard. And we're going to continue to update this guy. Come on. Oh, that was easy. Nice. Hello and welcome back to Path of Exile, Necropolis League. And this is another episode, an update for level 94, the current state for this character, which is a Cyclone of Tumult Slayer build. So let's get into it. I'm going to give you the Path of Building link will be in down below in the description, so you can click on that and really figure it all out and tweak things or look at each individual item and everything. So it's really nice. So let's get right into it. I was able to purchase this weapon for 15 divine, and how you get those divine is just keep on grinding out maps, and I've been doing a lot of delving, and I sell stuff. I just keep crafting a few flasks here and there, selling gems that I find, every which way possible. And I got up to the 15 divines. I was really lucky. This weapon is probably worth closer to 50, but it was late at night. They put it up for 15, and he didn't want anything less. It was very expensive. And I didn't have 15 divine, but I got there and it was still available and I bought it. So that was good. But right now I've got not too much DPS, but I'm a bit too squishy because I'm going deeper and deeper in the delves and it gets harder and harder. So I was wearing this belt, and this belt is only 10C, and I threw it on a while ago, and I really wasn't spending a bunch of time upgrading it, but I wanted to go with something more defensive, so I chose, just for now, I went with this one, and it was, I don't know, 20 chaos, but it had a few things on it. First I started with a blank, just a regular one for like 510C. Let's see where it was. I think I started with this one. This is a non-corrupted, just immortal flesh. Now, it's got a lot of interesting things, and there's quite a few interesting things here. The regen per second is cool. The mana regen is cool as well. to the point where I'm almost able to only use one ring instead of two. If you get that closer, if I hold Alt, it'll tell you the range there. If it's 9.5 to 10-ish, I can actually maybe get down to one ring without that other channeling thing. So that'll open up more possibilities as far as rings go. And more, that frees up a whole craft spot there, but that would be great. But then I wanted, that has the attack speed. That was cool. The 213 life per second was a little low. The minus 19 was okay, but the chunkiness thing is minus 40 for physical damage taken from attacks. That's nice. Every attack that I get hit, it's minus 40 right off the top. So it helps us with all those little hits. And then this one, the 40% increased armor. If we take a look at my armor, and it's not that great or crazy, but 8,800, 60% reduction. If I take that off, it drops down to there. So it's pretty nice. Without this on, I'm at night. I'm well into the overcapped, but because this has a penalty to wear it, the minus 17, it goes down, but I'm still in good shape there. So I had this one, and I said, you know what? I'm going to give up some movement speed for a little more damage there. So I got the crit strike multiplier. So for us, my crit strike multiplier is 348, and it's actually even higher than that because in the Path of Building, actually, if you use the program, you can put all the conditionals in, and it's even higher than that. Just like my crit rate, it goes up much, much higher than this. It's at 40% just as the base. When this thing is firing off, it's up to 52, but there's all kinds of other things. If the creature is bleeding, if the creature is on full health, I'm doing I'm doing a lot of crits. There's also a crit max I'm not sure about, but I'll have to find out that soon. So I upgraded the belt. It has more regen per second. I lost a little bit of life off there, but it was worth it. And then the regen is 8.6. So I'm going to be looking out for a belt that is even better than this. But they're going to go up in price. They're probably 100 KS to you're getting into multiple divines for really, really specific ones that you really want if you're going to go down this route. So let's go into the next item. If your gloves, feet, your boots, your chest, and your helm aren't uniques, you can generally use this. And it's into the currency, and as you go into maps, you're going to get more of these. Under exotic, you're going to start getting lesser ichors and these lesser eldritch embers. And if you hover over it, it says it's lesser searing exarch, and this one is the Eater of Worlds. And the neat thing is, what this does is it adds implicits. So if we look at this line right here, the two lines above that, the first one is the cooldown recovery and the 8 chaos. Those are implicits. The ones below it are the explicits, and you generally, on a rare item, you'd have 3 prefixes and 3 suffixes. So if I hold this down, we can look at that. It says Searing Exarch, and then it says Eater of Worlds for the 18% cooldown. That 18% cooldown helps reduce the cooldown on the Withering Step, the Phase Run, and maybe something else. But what that does is it gets it to automate and proc further and more often, so I'm moving around even faster more often. It just helps with movement speed for me. I like that, and it was worth it. But we're going to actually do this, and I'm going to show you this in action. So here's an item, and we'll turn it into just a magic item. Cool. So now we've got it on there. At this point, we should be able to, I'm just going to use this and add an implicit to that. I haven't done it on a magic item because normally you wouldn't, but here we go. Let's see if it works. Might have to be rare, but I don't think so. So here we go. Nice. So now, if you didn't like that one, you could use it again. Let's do it. Let's just waste some currency. So let's say I didn't want that one. Let's see if I can get a different one. Minions deal. Well, I don't do minion damage, but you might. And then if you're a different character, a minion-based character, and that would be great. And then you'd add this one on there. I don't want to waste it, but you get the idea. I'm a little low on those. But then if you re-roll this, I don't know if this will actually remove it. Let's find out together. I don't think it will. It doesn't. So there we go. It does that. It re-rolls. Those are actually some pretty nice gloves, but not really because they're magic. Let's re-roll it again, and I'm going to show you one other thing that we can do. I'm going to get some cold resistance. Okay. So I'm looking at my character now, and let's say for some reason you were short on fire, and you were way over capped on lightning. And let's say it was maybe on these boots right here. See that lightning? Well, it doesn't have a fire resistance. There's a way where you can go to your horticrafting station, and let's say I wanted to change the cold, or in this case the lightning, to fire. I'd put it over here. You go like this, and you say lightning, or in this case cold, and then it says cold, change a modifier that grants cold resistance into a similar tier. So if we hover over it, it'll tell us the tier, a tier 6 on the cold resistance, to lightning, or cold to fire. And then it tells you what's required. They're right here. And that's the stuff from the areas where you dive in and you fight the flower things, and then you get these life force crystals. You can buy these on the market as well. But if you have enough, you can just go over there and move one resistance to another. Now, if I already had fire on here, I couldn't change the lightning to fire. That would be the only thing. But that's a nice thing to get you out of a stuck spot. So I don't need these, and that's another hint and tip. And done, and done. Okay, next up, it's always a good idea to have one of these just sitting around. Let's say you need a strength, you're low on strength and dex, maybe a strength and dex amulet or something like that. And preferably it would even have something like this. Let's re-roll this a couple times. Let's see if we can get some more strength and dex on it. I'll actually use this item if it's sitting around there. Let's say, come on, just get some attributes on there. Accuracy. But the idea is sometimes as you're swapping gear around, you'll find yourself that you're low on something, and then you got to take something off, put it on. It's nice to have one of these. Let's see if we can fire it up and actually do it. Dexterity. I'll just stay with that for a second. So here's the item, and let's say you were low on it. I just would keep it like right over here. I think I have one down there, and I would keep it there, and I'd go, I grab that, put it on temporarily, as long as whatever I'm taking off doesn't have a bunch of attributes on it. And this one doesn't. So, cool. Now, that's helpful, but also, I don't know if you guys know this, but you can do anoints. An anoint with the oils that you find from Blight. And you can do it one of two ways. You can come up to her right there, have the things like that. Let's see if we just happen to put 3... a combination of those, we'd get plus 30 dexterity. Interesting. But let's say I've got a lot of dex on this. What if I wanted to anoint that with intelligence and stuff like that? You don't know what the combinations are. There's a few ways you can do it. We could actually look at our board, and if we hover over there, maybe it'll tell us. It does. So I know that's an intelligence. So if I wanted to anoint that on there, which is an additional craft, but it's a special craft onto an amulet, I'd put a sepia and 2 ambers. Let's do that right now. So I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to go to my oil tab, and I'll put these away. And I'll say sepia and 2 ambers. Let's see. There's a sepia. And because I have a oil tab, I can actually do it right here, and 2 ambers. So we're going to put this on here. This is funny. I didn't think I would be doing this, but a sepia and 2 ambers. I'm happy with that. We'll anoint it. And now, if we hover over, there it is. Plus 30 intelligence. So now I've got a nice item that I can come over and do that. But the other thing is, what if you wanted a bunch of different ones? Let's pull this up. Let's say you located something, but it's kind of far away, and you're like, you know what? I would really like that. Some kind of, for me, I would like a sword thing. So let's look way over here, swords. And what if I wanted Blade Master? That'd be great, but I don't want to travel that far. What if I wanted That one, sword steel, increased damage, increased physical damage, cool. Something like that, Blade Master. Let's say I needed a little more accuracy or something like that. Well, you could do this, and then you'd come over here and hold Alt, and it would tell you need a clear, a sepia, and a silver. But there's another way you can do it, where you get a list of all your options. So let's take a look at that. What I've done is, in Google, you want to look up something called PoE Oil Calculator, or Anoint Calculator. And this is the website, and all you do is you come over here and you tell it how many of each you have. You don't have to tell exact, just that you got, you could say 11, that would be fine. But it'll even calculate that, hey, you could technically do 3 of these and get back 1 more of those if you needed one of those. Or let's say you had 11 of these and you needed 1 more crimson, you could do a 3 for 1 and get the next tier up. So it understands that into this calculation. So as you start filling all these out, it'll give you every option for your amulet. So let's take a look at the list. All of a sudden, we've got all these. Now you're looking at this and you're like, wow, I can get all of this. I went with Blood Drinker on that because, it's just ridiculous how many things you can get. So you can go through there. Let's see if we could do a control find and do Blood Drinker, but we won't need to. And then, not only that, let's say you want to throw something on a ring. You can go over and it'll tell you all the different ring enchants or anoints you can do as well. And those help when you're doing the blight stuff. You might as well throw something on there. And then it gives you the ability, all these different things that help you with your blight content. So you can just put an anoint on both rings. Now, if it's like a unique ring, then you can't do it. But it's pretty useful. It's nice. It's a nice website. You can also anoint your blight maps. You can make all the creatures move considerably slower, so it's easier to win. There's all kinds of things you can do. So if you have a bunch of oils and you want to just slow the creatures down, just anoint the actual map, the blight map, and it can make it a winner, and then you can get tons of loot at the end, and it's a lot easier. Pretty cool. What I've anointed was Blood Drinker because it does, it recovers 2% of the life on kill, but then it does I was just going for more life. And this isn't a very good amulet. It's okay, but I definitely can upgrade that. In the future, I will. Right now, it's just okay, and I'm content with it, but I can do much better than this. But it's getting us to where we need to be. Blood Drinker, and sometimes, I'm almost positive, but so like if I look up for Drinker, I don't think it's anywhere on here. We could get it's an interesting way to go. If you wanted more power charges, you could actually hold down Alt and you could triple black, and I could get Disciple of the Forbidden, so I could get an extra. I could actually get power charges that way. That's interesting. All kinds of neat things. But some of them aren't listed on here. They're only through the actual anoint system. I don't think Blood Drinker is on here. It could be. Oh, right here. There it is. But I'm pretty sure there's certain ones that aren't even on the Atlas. I'm not 100% sure, but pretty sure. So now, as far as the changes that I did with the layout, if you notice this right here, I broke this apart and not forelinked it because I've got a couple of new things. Somebody mentioned this yesterday, and I'd done it probably about 4 hours before they said so, and I'm glad they mentioned it because it just reaffirmed this is the right way to go. I had all these extra spots, and I had Vengeance. I think it's up here now. Vengeance. I had a whole set. I just really wasn't using it, a whole 4 sockets. And I was like, there has to be better ways to use this, and there are. So this right here is interesting. If you can do mark on hit with so you have I have it at level 19, it'll be level 20. I don't think it really makes a huge difference there. Maybe a little bit. But this one, you want to keep this at level 1 and don't level it up, because as it pops up over here, just right click on it so it moves it down here, and these aren't going to be leveled up. I want it to stay level 1, because what this does is, well, you can read all that. It adds to the crit. It adds to the crit multiplier against cursed enemies when they hit. And I have It does a little bit of a heal and a mana back when killed, but that's not the big thing. But that last line where it says cursed enemies have a 5% chance to grant a power charge on hit. Well, I'm hitting five times a second. Oh, 1 second, I'll be right back. I made that ring. Let's do the trade real quick. What is it, this one? Yeah, I crafted that ring, I think. Yeah, I did. Nice. Easy to craft, too. And trade. Sorry about this. It was just fun. Nice. Accept. And he's got frogs. So, this thing's... see if it says that it costs 16 mana? Well, I had this connected to it, and all of a sudden it shot the mana up and it wasn't working anymore. It was linked together. So I had to break the link and re-roll this to make sure it went green, blue, red, blue. And I'll get into why this is important. Also, because the link only goes this way, this way, this way, this way, it can't go this way. So I had to have 2 blues and a red and a green on wherever you're going to put it. This was easier for me to actually roll it because the item is a dex and int item, and you know, it's just easier to roll all this with the chromatics. So if you look at this and I hold down control, look at the actual cost of Assassin's Mark. It's 32. That's a lot. If you don't, and it doesn't actually use the 32, it just needs it to be available on your thing here. So I have 44 available. Now I'm running Blood and Sand. I'm running this War Banner, which I should actually drop that during tough fights, but there's not really too many tough fights. I just leave it up and it just does its thing, and oh well. It adds stuff to it. It's cool. But then also I run Precision, but not at the top. I don't level 20 Precision because it takes too much mana. And then I use Purity of Elements. Now I could maybe get one more level out of Precision, but I'm okay with it at being right there. And that leaves me enough mana, and this thing will actually, when I hit a rare, it starts to generate power charges for me, and the power charges are really important because they add to, I think, the crit chance and the crit multiplier as well, so that it stacks up even more, and then my weapon does even more crit multipliers and crit strike. It just keeps compounding, and it increased damage against targets that are bleeding, and everything's bleeding, and it's great. So that does this. But then I added a cast when damage taken, and I kept it as low as possible, level 1. I want this thing to hit and trigger often, and if you level this thing up, it takes more damage for it to happen. So I want it to happen often, all the time, and it pops this thing off. What this does is it puts some chill on the ground, but then anybody that I hit and kill, it has a 25% chance right at the bottom there to give me a frenzy charge when an enemy dies in that skills area, that little frost area. So now I'm building up frenzy charges. Now the thing is, because of phase run, actually, I think it actually takes your it consumes frenzy charges to increase the duration, which makes me run faster. That's cool. So it's a little bit of a trade-off. I'm torn on whether I would like to turn that feature off or on, but I'm cool with this. So it makes my phase runs last a little bit longer. If I'm in between phase runs, the frenzy charges are building up quite fast, and I sit there and hover between 1, 2, 3 frenzy charges, which helps my attack speed and my movement speed, and I think it's just good. It's a lot of fun. So that's the setup there. Then we still have the regular Cyclone, and you can look at this in the path of building and everything to go over this. I still have all that. We have our War Banner, the Precision, the Purity of Elements, and if you hold down Alt, you're immune from ignited, I can't be scorched, ignited, chilled, frozen, brittle, shocked, or sapped. I can't be stunned. I can't have corrupted blood on me because of the tree that we're using. Really nice stuff. And then this belt ties into that. Whenever I'm not ignited, frozen, or shocked, which is never, I get 40% increased armor. So, which is a great thing. So it all kind of ties together. Then up here, I moved to Frostblink. I didn't really need the Leap Slam. especially in Delve. I don't use the Leap Slam. So I went with that, and then I moved away from the faster attack, because Leap Slam with faster attack is nice and smooth. It smooths it out. But Vengeance, I just threw that on there just because it's tied to life gain on hit. So if I'm just standing there and I'm not paying attention and some little creature comes up, it'll slap it and kill it. But not only that, if there's a bunch of creatures coming on, and it's got a 50% chance to trigger, and it's an AoE, so I get an AoE hit of 44 life per. So let's say there's 5 creatures and it does it. It's a 200-ish heal. It's not the end of the, it's something. And I don't mind. I may find something better to put in here. Most likely, yes. But for now, that's the case. In fact, I might even switch into something, completely different in the future. But for right now, I'm going to roll with this. So I hope this helps. And let's dive in and do a delve together to wrap up this update. Let's find out and have some fun here. And I fixed it. So now it's back. I just made it quadruple red, put the Leap Slam back in there. And now I have something to get out of something if it needs to be done. I'd rather have Frostblink at that point, because I'm not going to be... Yeah. Oh, well. But I can't do it with that.